You know, in the world of web development, you've got these two giants that have basically lived in separate universes for years. PHP, the engine that runs like most of the internet, and .NET, Microsoft's powerhouse framework for performance. But what if you could just smash them together? Well, that's the big idea behind a really cool piece of tech called PeachPie, and we're about to dig into how it's completely changing the game.
So, here's the plan. First, we'll get a handle on this great divide between PHP and .NET. Then we'll see exactly how PeachPie builds a bridge over it. After that, we'll dive into the 4 main reasons you'd want to use it, check out how it works in the real world, and then wrap up by thinking about what all this means for the future of code.
Okay, so let's set the stage. You've got PHP over here and .NET over there. Both are incredibly powerful, right? But they've always worked based on completely different rules, different philosophies.
And this really spells it out perfectly. On one side, you have PHP. It's open source, it's everywhere, running something like 75% of the web, and it reads code line by line. Then on the other side, you've got Microsoft's .NET. It's compiled, which means it's built for raw speed, and it's famous for its powerful enterprise-level tools. These are just fundamentally different ways of building things.
And this difference leads to a classic problem for so many businesses. Just imagine, you've got this super important app built years ago in PHP. It works, it makes you money, but man, it's getting slow. You look across the fence at the .NET world with all its speed and amazing developer tools, and you just wish you could have that, but without having to do a massive, expensive, and risky rewrite from scratch.
That's the million-dollar question, right? What if you didn't have to choose? What if you could actually get the best of both worlds? This is where our story gets really interesting. And the answer to that question is PeachPie. It's this incredibly clever compiler that was built specifically to be the bridge between these two huge platforms.
So what is it exactly? Well, PeachPie is an open source compiler. It takes your PHP code and using Microsoft's own super powerful Roslyn platform, it basically translates it into standard .NET code. What that really means is it lets your PHP code run like it was born and raised in the .NET world.
And the process itself is surprisingly simple. You take your regular PHP source code, you feed it into the PeachPie compiler, and what pops out the other side is a standard .NET assembly, a DLL file. Your code is now speaking the native language of .NET. It's officially part of the ecosystem.
And you should know, this isn't some random side project somebody cooked up in their garage. PeachPie is legit. It's fully open source, it's an official member of the .NET Foundation, and it even has serious backing from Microsoft itself. It actually grew out of an older project called Phalanger, but it takes that original idea to a whole new level.
Okay, so we get what PeachPie does, but why? Why should you care? Well, it all boils down to 4 huge benefits: performance, interoperability, security, and portability. Let's tackle each one.
Let's start with the one that makes everyone's jaw drop: performance. Just look at these numbers. A normal WordPress site running on PHP can handle around 45,000 requests a second. Not bad at all. But you take that exact same WordPress code, compile it with PeachPie, and run it on .NET, you're looking at over 305,000 requests a second. That is a nearly 7 times performance boost just from changing the compiler. It's insane.
Next up is interoperability, and this is where things get kind of mind-bending. It's a two-way street. You can grab a powerful PHP library you love and just use it directly in your C# project. Or you can find a super fast C# library and call it right from your PHP code. The walls between the languages just crumble.
Then there's security. See, when you compile your app with PeachPie, you're no longer shipping your easy-to-read PHP source code. You're shipping a compiled DLL. That's way harder for someone to pick apart. Plus, your code is now running inside the secure, managed world of .NET, which can check the code for safety and shut down a lot of the unsafe stuff that can sometimes happen in older PHP.
And last but not least, portability. Because PeachPie is built on modern .NET, your PHP applications suddenly get a passport. You can compile your app one time and then run it literally anywhere .NET runs. Windows, macOS, Linux, you name it. Your PHP code becomes truly cross-platform.
All right, the theory is fantastic, but how does this all play out in the real world? Let's take a look at where people are actually putting PeachPie to work. We're not talking about small scripts here. PeachPie has been put through its paces with some of the biggest, most complicated PHP apps on the planet. I'm talking about WordPress, of course, but also MediaWiki. Yeah, the software that runs Wikipedia, and popular frameworks like CodeIgniter. This proves it's tough enough to handle the real heavyweights.
So this table really breaks down the 3 main ways people are using it.
First is integration, just mixing and matching PHP and C# code right next to each other in the same project. Second is migration, taking that old, valuable PHP app and giving it a new life on the modern .NET platform without that scary rewrite. And third is development, where you can use all those amazing debuggers and profilers from the .NET world on your existing PHP code.
So if we just zoom out for a second, what does a technology like PeachPie really tell us about the future? It's about way more than just one compiler. It's about a whole new way of thinking about how our programming languages should talk to each other.
I love this quote because it nails the whole idea. For so long, we've built up these walls between our coding worlds. But the most powerful, most creative solutions are going to come from connecting these worlds, not from keeping them locked away from each other.
And that's the big takeaway here. PeachPie is a glimpse into a future where you can just pick the best tool for the job without being stuck in one ecosystem. It points to a world where the language you choose is just a personal preference, not some massive barrier that decides the entire fate of your project.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. PeachPie tore down the wall between PHP and .NET. What other walls are still standing in the programming world, just waiting for someone to come along and knock them down? What incredible new things could we build if we just connected them?